All right, guys, we're going live. No intro, no nothing. We're just gonna go straight to it. These fools are live. Let's watch. What in the world, bro? Why isn't this working? Request to be in the live feed. I can't hear it. I can't get it to work. Oh, there it goes.
They just ridden a bicycle through a lead. The aluminum frame, you guys can come and look at the aluminum frame yourself. This is a stock frame, just sort of painted in our colors, but it had strict engineering goals. The battery box is pretty unique. We'll talk about that in a second. But the overlying theme of the frame is much stronger than the competition.
Let's see what they got.
More material and thicker. Weighs a little more, but far more durable. And that goes to the suspension also. We all use KK suspension, Rawrr. For those of you in the moto business, those of you in the e-moto world, you know KK very well. In the moto business, you may not really experience suspension manufacturing. They make a lot of parts for Fox. The difference between our suspension and what's on our competition, instead of using a lot of aluminum internals, we use steel internals. We have other brands in that space bending upper fork stanchions pretty easily. We've got shock shafts that bend. We have shocks that blow out. Knock on wood, I don't have wood here, but knock on wood, we have not had a shock fail yet on Rawrr Mantis since they've been in production for 6 months. We're IP67 waterproof. Most of the bikes in this category are. What that means is, stream crossings are not an issue. Technically, you can ride this bike on the bottom of a swimming pool if you want. Not for very long, but you can make a lap of the swimming pool with water in it, not Bob Harrell style.
Okay.
The battery compartment. So the battery and the battery compartment are unique. Our battery's heavier than a Rawrr or Solari. Even our 60-volt battery, which had the same essentially similar cells and similar size, it was heavier. That's because we use a different casing and a different glue in it that is extremely durable and is also more fire retardant and safe. We use Samsung cells in our battery, the highest quality cells, same cells that were used in Teslas previously. So, and then the battery box, you'll notice as you pull batteries out, we're going to swap some batteries tomorrow. You'll see the little spring-loaded rollers that allow the battery to drop in and come out really easily, but at the same time holding it really securely. We have no battery wrap. A lot of bikes and segments do the batteries when you're riding really hard in technical sections. Batteries wrap. Reverse. This is just sort of it's the answer to the question that no one asked, but it's so easy to do with an electric motor. Why not? So we have an R button on the bar you'll see tomorrow. You press that R button, you turn the throttle, you have to hold the R button while you're turning the throttle. It's not easy to do, but it's made to be not easy to do, so you don't do it accidentally. And the bike will reverse in that. And then our ride modes. So we're really proud of these. So Eco 1 is extremely slow. It has a limited top speed, and the throttle is super soft. You whack the throttle open, and it just barely pulls away from the stop. And that's for a very distinct reason. We designed Eco 1 for someone who's never ridden a motorcycle before. They can get on, they can put it in Eco 1, and basically learn, have their first experience on a motorcycle and really enjoy it. I've been in the ride motorcycle since I was 6. I grew up racing 80s at Indian Dunes in the late 70s, early 80s, and I saw so many kids, jump on an 80, and they were 80s. They're 80s back then. You guys probably don't know this, but they used to be 80s, not 85s. And they jump on 80s, whack the throttle open, thing would get on the pike and fly away, and that's it. That was their last motorcycle experience. They didn't want anything to do with it for the rest of their life. We put in an Eco 1, they whiskey throttle the Mantis, and it just pulled away from the stop and left it. So that's very intentional setting on Eco 1. You guys are going to be like, this is junk, I'm never going to use it. Oh, you will use it actually. It's great for loading the motorcycle. So put in Eco 1, it's great to just load it up the ramp. 2, it's for the Eco 1 newbie who wants to start advancing their skills and go a little bit faster. Eco 3 will do the same top speed as sport mode, but again with that softer throttle setting. Just won't hit as hard, won't do a wheelie if they accidentally slap it over. And in sport mode. This room, you guys are all going to be in sport mode tomorrow, ripping and enjoying it. But try the other modes though, just to get a feel for them. But the reason we like this, and the reason it makes the Mantis unique, we can have somebody here tomorrow. We've got a couple ex-pro motocrossers here who are going to just love ripping on it in sport mode. If we had someone who's never ridden a motorcycle before, they put an Eco 1 and they're going to have the time of their life riding it. There's no other motorcycle that can do that. Can you imagine I wish I could have gone burning laps on a 450 and then taking somebody who's never ridden a motorcycle before and giving them their first experience on that?
I know what you guys think. Just in comments.
Can't happen. So that's why we think this product and the architecture of it makes it unique and will help us grow the sport. Okay, that's the Mantis from a technical standpoint. Any questions about brand, tech specs, dealers, support, anything? Take anything. And great question. Yeah, fantastic question. So Mantis has 2 charging ports on it, first of all. The question was charging, and how long does it take to charge? Charges with a regular wall outlet. There's 2 charging ports. There's a point right behind the headstock of the motorcycle, so you can charge it with the battery in it. The battery also has a port on it, so if you pull the battery out, you can charge a battery while you're separate from the motorcycle. You get tomorrow, battery starts going low, we're going to pull it out, we're going to put it on the charger, and put a fresh one in for you guys to ride. So 2 ways to charge it. And it takes, if you were to drain it to 0, and you wanted to take it all the way to 100, which nobody does, it would take you a little more than 3 hours. But what we see, we take them down to maybe 30% or so, and then take them up to 80, 90. It's less than 2 hours. And as far as life, with the 72-volt battery, if you're riding really hard, you're probably going to get about only 25 miles out. We get like a 30-minute motor out of the battery. Eco 1 though, if you put an Eco 1, we measured as far as 75 miles. It's a very, very slow, boring 75 miles, but it's 75 miles.
What's the recharge time?
Recharge time? Yeah, so about, again, 0 to 100, it's going to take you more than 3 hours, but the 20 to 80 or 90 that we normally do, it's about 2, maybe a little less than 2 hours.
We have a question from the internet. What's the amperage for the 72-volt bike?
Yeah, amperage for the 72-volt battery is 35 amps. It's the same as our 60-volt battery. And obviously we could produce a 40 amp or 45 amp version of this. Why do we go with 35? Right now, we wanted a Mantis that 72 volt, 35 amp was plenty for us. I mean, you'll see tomorrow, you've got more than enough power. There's only a couple places you'll get wide open on this bike on the Blackmore track tomorrow. But also, anybody who owns a 60 volt Mantis can buy a 72 volt battery, and drop it straight in the existing motor controller, because they're both 35 amp, and they suddenly have a 72 volt bike. Yeah, we're power sports dealers. We have some what we call sort of e-mobility dealers. All of our dealers have to, and then we have a direct-to-consumer channel right now that exists temporarily. as we build out our view for the states that we don't have dealers in yet. Ultimately, we're looking to be 100% dealer, but there is a small dealer direct consumer channel right now. Our dealers have to be, if you're Suron and somebody has a heartbeat in a PO box, they can be a Suron dealer. Our dealers have to be able to, by law, because we're a motor vehicle, they have to be able to do service and warranty support. So we only choose dealers that have a great service department and are able to do our warranty work. Yeah, warranty is 1 year on the battery, motor, controller, so essentially the powertrain, and then a 30-day warranty on manufacturer defects on every other part of the bike. Yes?
There's another question from the internet. What's the weight of the bike?
Weight of the bike is 165. So we're a little heavier than a Suron or a Talaria. And that's one of the things, back when we had a 60-volt battery, and we were putting out, similar amount of power to a Talaria, MX4 or Suron Light E, but we weighed 20 pounds more. We were never going to beat them in a race because we had to accelerate that additional weight. One of the reasons we went to that 72 was to help pull that little extra weight we have. And again, the extra weight is there for durability. But now we can pull that more. Yeah.
What's the future as far as having the off-road version compared to the supermoto version? Will there be any sort of differences between the two bikes? Or will it be a number 2 version?
Yeah, some of you have
seen.
seen we've got a little supermoto concept bike that we are just dying to ride one day out here on the Blackmore Ranch little supermoto park track. But our long-term plans, and it's no secret, we've been telling dealers about this for a while. The product roadmap is we have the off-road Mantis right now, and then coming in early 2024, we have a street legal version of the Rawrr Mantis. So essentially the Rawrr Mantis, DOT homologated in all 50 states for on-road use. And then soon after that, basically a supermoto version of that. So street legal, we believe very much in these things being ridden off-road. That's where they're designed to be ridden. That's where we want them to be ridden. But we know a lot of people want to use them as urban transportation. Or kids want to ride them to school. We're going to give them an option to do that. So that's yeah.
Another question from the internet. How much does it cost and when will it be available?
Okay, good question. This is we were live streaming this, so a question from the internet. It's $49.99 is the price, and it is available right now. It started shipping to dealers last week, so dealers will be getting this in stock over the next couple weeks. And again, for the DTC, the direct-to-consumer customers, that's available right now. In addition to that $49.99 price, we have consumer financing through Synchrony and Octane Lending, and talking to one additional consumer financing partner right now. A lot of the buyers are young. They've got a good down payment, but they don't have $5,000. We look at that as like, we buy 2 of them with what I spent on my last motorcycle. But for a lot of young consumers, $5,000 is a tough price point to hit. So we have consumer financing in place to help them. Yeah.
And another question, what's the range? And is there going to be possibly a phone app that's coming out?
Okay. Well, so a range again will be about, in eco mode, it's 75 miles. It's a long, boring 75 miles, but you can get there. And then sport mode, we say a 30-minute moto or maybe 25 miles. And then the phone app. Again, our motor controller is an open source motor control. It's not locked down like Suron and Talaria. So coming to the market in the next quarter will be a Rawrr phone app where you can make adjustments to power, to torque, to regen, and to actually build your own throttle maps if you like. The throttle mapping we have in this, is a compromise. Some people I just want a bike that wheels. I want a bike that I can wheelie really easily, but that bike for the guys that ride single track up in the mountains doesn't work for them. Steep climbs, they can't keep the thing hooked up. It just wants to spin up the rear tire. So we have a map in here that's a balance, but we'll give people the ability to put their own map in to ride in the conditions, they want. I think that you'll like the map. We're in the 7th generation of our throttle map right now. I think you'll enjoy the map that we've got in there tomorrow as they go all around. But yes, app coming to market. The other thing you'll be able to do with the app is adjust the regen. And you think, oh, that's just give me full regen all the time. Well, we have regen set as a very specific level on this motorcycle because regen is like a rear brake. So we wanted really neutral in-air balance. And if you crank up the regen, you're basically going to be nose in the front wheel off with any jump. So the regen is like it is. It's light. It's not. We're not regenning a big amount, and that's on purpose because we want a really neutral feeling in here.
What's the top speed of the bike?
So top speed. I hate this question, but because again, ridden in the conditions that this should be ridden in, you're rarely going to hit the top speed. But we had a report just yesterday in proper safe conditions of the Mantis doing 51.6 miles an hour on GPS. So, but again, tomorrow you're not going to get anywhere. Well, Jeff Blackmore and I were talking about it earlier. You're going to probably hit 45 down the straightaway before this tabletop comes to this finish. Yeah.
Can you talk again about upgrading the battery? Some people on the live stream didn't catch it.
What's that?
Can you talk a little bit more about the upgrading the battery again?
Yeah. So again, people with the 60-volt battery can go to a Rawrr dealer and upgrade their battery to a 72-volt battery, instantly getting them 20% more torque. So we didn't want to make the previous Rawrr Mantis obsolete. We wanted to make that upgradable to 72 volts.
Take the battery and exchange it for free.
So our battery, the retail price on it is $1,650. So we are offering a special for owners of 60-volt bikes to upgrade the battery for less than that. It varies by dealer. They should check with their dealer, but it's a considerable discount if they are an existing Rawrr owner of a 60-volt bike.
Okay.
Were there any gearing changes to the bike after doing the 72-volt upgrade?
Yeah, there was, and it scared me because factory went taller. The factory did a lot of testing with this bike and gearing against the competition. They went taller, and I thought, oh great, we're going to lose our acceleration. We didn't. I think have even more acceleration, but we did go taller. That allowed us to get some high top speeds out of it. And we can pull more gear.
What do you mean taller?
Yeah. Yeah, great question. Yeah, there are a couple things that have changed on this bike versus the 62-volt bike. The 60-volt bike. We had just a couple small little issues with the first generation of Rawrr Mantises, which we've addressed nearly all of that. Includes the kickstand sensor. The original Rawrr Mantis, we had a decent failure rate of kickstand sensors to where if the kickstand was up, the bike would say that it was still in park, thinking the kickstand was down when it wasn't. There's a manual override to that, but so that was an issue. New kickstand sensor. The other thing was we cleaned up a lot of the wiring. We used automotive style connectors for the wiring because if you had ever gotten underneath the Mantis, there's a lot of wires in there, and so we tried to clean that up as well.
Also the side casing.
Yes, yeah. For moto guys who have ridden the Mantis, the existing Mantis, the bolts on our side case protruded just slightly, a couple mil, but it would tear up your motocross boot quite a bit, or if you don't have a motocross boot on, your ankle bone. So those have all now been recessed.
There's like pegs that you just need.
brakes are a little bit better.
Yeah, brakes, we use 4-piston brakes. These are, for off-road use only. They're a mineral oil brake. If you ride on-road, you need a brake that has a higher boiling point, uses DOT fluid. But for off-road use, mineral oil is the best fluid to use. Really good progressive feel with the stopping power.
There's another question from the internet.
Yeah.
Somebody what do they do if there is no dealer near them?
Yeah, 2 things. One, let us know. Reach out to us at hello@rawrr.com. We're opening dealers across the country rapidly. We opened 6 more last week. So we'll try to open one in that area. But again, for states where we don't have dealers, in states that do allow direct-to-consumer commerce, not all states do, you can buy the bike online.
Ask them what modes do the regen work in?
Great. Tomorrow, let's talk about what we're going to do here. For those of you staying in the hotel, just have breakfast at your own leisure at the hotel. We're hoping to get out here a little before 8 because at 8 o'clock we're going to be on the track. We were thinking today, we don't really have a curfew when we can be on the track or not because the bikes are silent. So we could be riding right now and none of the neighbors would know we were riding. But 8 o'clock is when we're gonna drop the flag. We're gonna ride up to lunch at noon, and then we're gonna have a nice lunch. We're having sandwiches from Grant Langston's Sandwich Shop, which are awesome. And then after that, hopefully you've got enough riding time. Hey, you're welcome to go at any time because it's gonna get hot. It got hot today. Lunch is, we're hoping to get everybody wrapped up lunch. You need more photography, you need more time on the bike, go at it, you can use it, but we're trying to wrap up by lunch. And just so everybody knows, track's gonna get got watertight. You have to do a great job prepping the track. It's got a different little layout for us that makes it a little more flowy. There's a couple little stop and go, square up corners that he's sort of made more flowy. And you just do an amazing job grooming it, watering it. In the mornings, maybe you're going to be a little slick. It's going to be a little squirrely. When you first get out there, it'll get really, really good, really good and tacky, and then it'll probably dry out, get a little dusty, and then we'll get a blue groove track by lunchtime. So we're going to see all kinds of conditions tomorrow. We're going to try to get all the photography done early in the morning, for the low light and the good, wet conditions or moist conditions. We're going to try to get photography done. So those of you who are content creators and media, let's, we want you guys to be on that bike early and first. We've got Casey here shooting photos. If there's anything in particular you want from Casey, let him know. If you have your own shooters here, great, put them out on the track, have them shoot, and then as the day wears on and there's more access to bikes, we got a lot of folks here that are VIPs that we'd like to give you the opportunity to ride, cycle into the ride cycles there and give it a go. Yeah.
Are you gonna have giveaways?
Giveaways?
Yeah, are you gonna have swag?
Tonight? Oh, that's a loaded question. Yes, of course we are. So on your way out tonight, there's a table there. We've got some great new Rawrr jerseys that Michael Lee produced for us. They look great. Grab a jersey. They're sorted by size. We got Rawrr water bottles there as well. We got Rawrr hats. So help yourself to those on your way out. And I just want to say a quick thank you to Jeff and Jen for opening up Platform Ranch to us. Those of you who've been in here, walked around, this is a super special place, and we're really privileged to be able to use it. So thanks to you guys. Thanks to all the Rawrr team that's worked really hard to put this event.
Dang. Alright, they cut it. They cut the sheesh, dude. Refresh their website. Is it anywhere on here? No. Nothing new. So they went 72 volt, 35 amp hour. Yeesh. Okay, let's go back. Close this. What are we looking for? What the fuck is this? Instagrams. Rawr's page. Not their actual page. Reels. Tags. People are enjoying it. Someone tagged Rawr for Yappa. And then this guy with the rap. This was actually pretty sick. Look at that. Pretty sick. I don't like the red, but nonetheless, nope, don't want that. Copyright, straight up. Yeah, that's the tags on the Rawr. Oh, we got this one too. They took that. That's from us. And other people are just, oh.
Do it away!
These will do a wheelie.
Do it away!
For the clickbait. Alright. Nothing new other than pictures and such as that. This top speed. Nope, don't want that. Musico. What is he saying? 44, 45? Alright. That. This. Go into here. Don't want that. Musico.
The product roadmap is we have the off-road Mantis right now.
We'll go back from where I jumped in because it wouldn't work for me for whatever reason.
But it was straight frame. You guys can come and look at the aluminum frame yourself. This is a stock frame, just sort of painted into our colors. But it had strict engineering goals. The battery box is pretty unique. We'll talk about that in a second. But the overlying theme of the frame is much stronger.
I wonder why.
Than,
Let's see what they got.
More material and thicker.
Oh,
Weighs a little more,
chilling down
but
there.
far more
Oh,
durable.
yeah.
And that goes to the suspension also. We all use KKE suspension, Rawrr Rawrr. For those of you in the moto business, those of you in the e-moto world, you know KKE very well. In the moto business, you may not really experience suspension manufacturing. They make a lot of parts for Fox. The difference between our suspension and what's on our competition, instead of using a lot of aluminum internals, we use steel internals. We have on the Rawrr Mantis, you can ride safe route. Reverse, were used in Teslas previously. So essentially, similar cells and the battery compartment. So the battery and the battery compartment are unique. Our battery is heavier than a Rawrr or Talari. Even our 60-volt battery, which had the same essentially similar cells and similar size, it was heavier. That's because we use a different casing and a different glue in it that is extremely durable and is also more fire retardant and safe. We use Samsung cells in our battery, the highest quality cells, same cells that were used in Teslas previously. So, and then the battery box, you'll notice as you pull batteries out, we're going to swap some batteries tomorrow. You'll see the little spring-loaded rollers that allow batteries out. You press that R button, you turn the throttle. You have to hold the R button while you're turning. Whack the throttle open and really enjoy it.
Talked about
This is loaded up the ring. Two, it's for the Eco One. Charges with a regular wall outlet. There's two.
Question.
This has two charging ports on it. First of all, the question was charging. Great question. Yeah. Yeah, fantastic question. So Mantis has two charging ports on it, first of all. The question was charging, and how long does it take to charge? Charges with a regular wall outlet. There's two charging ports. So the point right behind the headstock of the motorcycle, so you can charge it with the battery in it. The battery also has a port on it, so if you pull the battery out, you can charge the battery while you're separate from the motorcycle. You get tomorrow, battery starts going low, we're going to pull it out, we're going to put it on the charger, and put a fresh one in for you guys to ride. So two ways to charge it. And it takes, if you were to drain it to zero, and you wanted to take it all the way to 100, which nobody does, it would take you a little more than 3 hours.
Okay, so they said from full to zero, it would take 3. Wait, let me make sure I don't bullshit.
And it takes, if you were to drain it to zero, and you wanted to take it all the way to 100, which nobody does, it would take you a little more than 3 hours.
A little more than 3 hours, they say. Okay. Okay. We'll see how that goes.
But what we see,
an extensive test. At least street riding. Because I don't have off-road near me. I have no off-road. So we are stuck with on-road. But we will see how this goes. We're going to test this thing out once we get it.
we take them down to maybe 30% or so, and then take them up to 80, 90. It's less than 2 hours. And as far as life, with the 72-volt battery, if you're riding really hard, you're probably going to get about only 25 miles out.
20 to 25 miles out of the 72-volt battery. I'm trying to think of, like, why. I can't think of why. But nonetheless. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm gonna keep. No, I went live. Why am I live?
So you can charge it with the battery.
Stupid.
It takes up to 80, 90, 5 miles out.
It doesn't seem like it changed anything. It just put a bigger battery in it. The real question should have been, if I take your bike on a track and kill the battery in sport mode, let's say for argument's sake, the 60 volt in 20 miles of riding, if I take the 72 volt on the exact same track and ride the exact same way, how long until the battery dies? That's the real question.
You get like a 30-minute photo out of the battery. Eco 1 though, if you put an Eco 1, we measured as far as 75 miles.
So I still don't know if he's talking about the 72 volt or the 60 volt, because right now they advertise. Wait, let's go. Wait, hold on. Let me see. Go back over here. Right now, the 60 volt is advertised at 75 miles in Eco 1, and Sport Mode does 25 miles in, the 60 volt Sport Mode. So what are these stats for the 72 volt battery? That's what we want to know. Back to it, guys. Oh, we opened the wrong thing. Where's it at? There it is. Here, play.
Very, very slow boring 75 miles, but it's 75 miles.
What's the recharge time?
Recharge time is about maybe a little less than 2 hours.
We have a question. question from the internet. What's the amperage for the 72 volt bike?
Yeah, amperage for the 72 volt battery is 35 amps. It's the same as our 60 volt battery. And you know, obviously we could produce a 40 amp or 45 amp version of this. Why did we go with 35? Right now, we wanted a Mantis that 72 volt, 35 amp was plenty for us. I mean, you'll see tomorrow, you've got more than enough power. There's only a couple places you'll get wide open on this bike on the Blackmore track tomorrow. But also, anybody who owns a 60 volt Mantis can buy a 72 volt battery, drop it straight in, the existing motor controller, because they're both 35 amp, and they suddenly have a 72 volt bike.
But no, it's not.
Yeah, we're power sports dealers. We have some what we call sort of e-mobility dealers. All of our dealers have to, and then we have a.
All right. For the most part, we got the information we want. The new Mantis for 2024 will be 72 volt, 35 amp hours. And unless dude misunderstood the question, they're stating the stats will stay the same, at least for range. So I don't know what's gonna happen with this. So we probably won't get very much difference. But I don't know. So you guys are excited. Honestly, I'm still excited because I'm assuming he misunderstood the questions and just did not answer them properly. So hopefully after tomorrow, I'll be able to have some more information for you guys. But until then, be breezy, never sleazy, but always stay cheesy. Peace.